Well, go on, everybody. Lennox here from Simple 123 Trader. It is Tuesday, March the 11th. We are live at the New York Stock Market afternoon session. Glad you can join us. Hope everybody is doing well. Please do give us a like and also subscribe to our channel if you find this information helpful, useful. This just a little proviso. This is, of course, all education for educational purposes only, and we do not recommend that you blindly jump into trades without, of course, consulting your expert financial advisor. All right, so just to throw that out there. Let's take a look at, as usual, the news for today. There was some red news at 7 a.m. this morning, the JOLTS job openings. I don't know if that had much of an effect on the market.
Okay, that would be 10 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay, so 7 a.m., 10 Eastern, 7 a.m., or was it 7 a.m. Eastern? Which one?
Let me see.
I think it's 7 a.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, well, let me see. Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, but let me look it up.
Not sure if what. And Trump is supposed to be speaking today at 2 p.m., which would be my time, 11.
Well, the first thing today was really, you're on the wrong day, I think. You're on the 11th?
I'm on the 11th today, yeah.
Okay, the JOLTS job opening is at 10.
Oh, it was at 10, so I've got 7 here. So what is the time? What are they showing here? Let's see. Oh, I'm on Pacific time. Okay, so if I set this to Eastern time, that would give me... Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Let me set this to Eastern time, US, Canada. There we go. Save settings. Okay, so there we go. So now that puts it at the correct time. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so that fixes that. And then Mr. Trump is supposed to be speaking today at 5 Eastern. So
yeah.
It's around 2 o'clock our time, my time. So, all right. So that's a look at the news. Taking a look at the, I was going to look at the euro versus the US dollar here, euro, US dollar. Everything has changed on my screen. So something has happened. They always mess around with my stuff. Mr. Microsoft at its best here. So let me just see if I can get this straight. Okay, so, all right, let me try this again. So they're all spinning their wheels right now. So go back here. So this is supposed to be US dollar. Put US dollar here. And this is supposed to be Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar. And then my screen is supposed to be the opposite way, sideways, like that. Yes, there we go. Okay, so looking at the US dollar versus the Euro US dollar, let's go to the 15-minute time frame, give us a little better. Okay, we've got a weak US dollar currently overall compared to a stronger euro versus the US dollar. And that's, the basic takeaway. We want to see what the US dollar is doing overall. And if I go to the hourly time frame, then get a little longer term look at the US dollar versus the euro US dollar. So we have a weak US dollar overall and a strong euro US dollar. So that also portends, if you're playing the Forex market, since we have a weak US dollar, you would look at Aussie US dollar for strength. Let me go right over to the current time. And it's bucking the trend. Aussie is very weak against a weak US dollar. Quite interesting. Bitcoin would be having a little strength as well, but it's also a little bit on the weak side. And again, we look at Euro US dollar, which was a little stronger. And so they're all having a little bit of a struggle against the US dollar. Interesting. GBP US dollar should be also strong, but it's also a little weak against a weak US dollar. So that's quite interesting to see. So US dollar, taking a look at it, you can see is very choppy, very, very weak. And even all the other currencies are also having a battle against it. So that's quite interesting today. New Zealand US dollar also weak against a weak US dollar, which is very unusual, usually the opposite way. Let's take a look at USD CAD. USD CAD is strong against a weak US dollar. Again, not quite what it should be. USD Swiss. And okay, I've messed up completely, George. And the reason why is because I'm on the 1 minute time frame. So that gives a totally different perspective of things. So maybe on this short term, yes, that was so. So I'm going to do this all over again because I'm going to start with the US dollar. US dollar is weak. I'm on the hourly time frame. Okay, so now if I look at Aussie US dollar, we would expect Aussie US dollar to be strong. And it's not. It's kind of neutral. Okay, we would expect Bitcoin to be strong. It is a little bit strong. That's good. Okay, and then we'd expect Euro to be strong against the US dollar. It is. We would expect GBP US dollar to be strong. It is. Okay, that's more like it. All right, so that always helps having in the right context. New Zealand US dollar should be strong. It's somewhat strong, right? We'd expect USD CAD to be weak, and it's strong. So US dollar is very strong against the CAD, which is quite interesting. USD Swiss should be weak. It's a score kind of neutral. And USD JPY should be strong. And it is, or should be weak, I should say, sorry. And it is slightly weak here as well. Okay, so that hopefully fixes all that. We'll take a look at gold. And gold should be strong against a weak US dollar. It is. Okay, so that's working there. And silver will be the same. And it is. Okay, oil also should be showing some strength. And it was showing some strength, but it's sort of weakening a little bit here at the moment. All right. Let's take a look at our Magnificent Seven group of stocks, starting with Apple. Very weak currently. It's taking quite a drop here I'm on the hourly from 240 down to 218. So is it time to be buying this stock? Let's see. I'm going to go up to the weekly just to get a good look at it. We were way up at 260. Now we're down at 218. And it looks like there's a possible more downside to come for Apple overall. So Apple is having a little bit of a battle currently, as we can clearly see here. So I'm going to go back to the hourly time frame just to get a more short-term perspective on it. Amazon was quite weak and is now trying to turn, trying to show some strength here. Short term, so Amazon is trying to buck the trend, but it's also had quite a fall from 224 down to 190 area. What else is on our list here?
Microsoft.
We would have Google.
Meta.
Yeah, Google right there is also showing a lot of weakness. Big drop from 177 down to 164. Got Meta also, and of course, this would be in line for almost every stock since last week because of this downward mode in the markets. So we've got a lot of pressure on these stocks. Microsoft would also be one of those, and it has had quite a drop as well. So buying opportunities are coming up for all these stocks, which is really good. So we can watch them each day and look for when they start to turn for buying opportunities. MicroStrategy.
Video,
Go ahead, George.
no video, there's no.
Yes, MicroStrategy is also one that we look at. Quite the drop here from way above 300. We're down to 230 area. So again, we're looking for a turnaround in these stocks. NVIDIA, as George pointed out, quite the drop as well. It's trying to turn at this point, and this would be a good location for it to turn around, because I believe when it split from 10 to 1, it was around the $100 mark in that area. So we're back to where we started again. So great buying opportunity for NVIDIA, I would think. Let me just go to the daily on that one, just see. Let's go to the weekly on that. There we go. So I think when it split, it was in that area, and then it took a nice move up into 150 and so forth. But now we're back to where we bought, where it was, where that split. So opportunity in NVIDIA to push back to the upside here. And am I missing any of them now? Mike got most of them, I think. Tesla, of course. And Tesla's had quite the drop from, close to 500, and now we're down to 225. And looking for a possible turnaround in Tesla, which might be a tough one, because of course there's lots of pressure on Mr. Musk, and his company and so forth. So yeah, so those are the stock. We'll, like I say, we'll continue to watch them to see how they perform over the next while. But let me go down on Tesla here a little bit and see where we're at. So if I go back to the weekly, we'd come when I was looking at Tesla, because Peter always plays Tesla, and so I wanted to kind of see where we were. So we're looking to come back into this gap here. We've come back into the gap. It seems to be respecting this gap. We've just wicked out of it, but we're staying inside on the weekly time frame. So this might be a time for a nice big bounce here on Tesla. On the daily, we're right in there. On the 4-hour, we're right into that gap. On the hourly, we're just skirting the outside of the gap on the hourly. On the 30-minute, starting to look like we're getting a turn here. So setting up for 1, 2, 3 on the hourly time frame, on the 30-minute time frame right now, it seems. So I'll make this a little bigger. And on the 15-minute, we can see the setup is looking quite nice right now. We've got a sweep of the lows. We've got a move to the upside. We didn't get a sweep this side so much. We haven't closed above any of these highs, but we're getting that pullback. So it is a good buy opportunity in this area to push us out to the upside. So it's looking pretty good overall here for Tesla. Let's go down. That's on the 15-minute time frame. Let's go down to the 5-minute and look a little closer at it. So at this level, here's the sweep. This would be like a change of character there or here. Again, ideally, we want to see a change of character up here. That's a long way away yet, but we do have a nice move up and this move back in. So technically speaking, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, an A and a B, and a C leg coming back down. So where are we coming back down to is the question. So there are a number of ways to decide or figure out where we're heading to. One of them is using the gap. There's a gap right there. It's more than mitigated, mostly mitigated by that little wick right there. Make this a little bigger. So there's a little wick there, but is a little sliver just below it. There's also an order block right there. So price could come into this gap and maybe just touch that order block, and we could go to the upside. We can also look for inverted gaps. There are no inverted gaps. So that's it. Also, I can see the structure this way. We've got a 1 and a 2 and a 3. So we could drop one more time into that level, certainly, okay, before we start moving to the upside. And finally, I can put the fibs on, and from the high to the low, looking for around a 50 to 62%. So we're right at 50% right now. It is 50% right there. And then, 50 to 62% would be in this area for that retrace. So opportunity for buying Tesla, maybe down in the 223.5 area.
I would agree.
Okay, it's good to know that there's someone in agreement there. So it's good. So yeah, so it looks pretty good there. And so if I drop down to the 1 minute time frame, we can look at this current leg. If I drop to the 1 minute, and there is that's what it looks like. So we got a big, huge 1, 2, 3 right there. Another 1, 2, 3, and then this drop. And so we are more than likely chopping around in a fourth wave here, looking for one more drop to take out the lows. Okay, so that's kind of the overall analysis there of Tesla.
I would agree.
Yeah, so be careful going long at this point in any case, and just maybe one more drop to come. All right, so of course we can get confluence with the NAS. So NASDAQ 100 is probably doing a similar thing. So we can always see if they're doing the same thing, and you can see they're almost identical. So if I put that, you can see it's almost exactly what I just drew on Tesla is what's going on the NAS. We've got a 1, 2, a 1, 2 drop, chopping around right now. So we're looking for another drop on the NASDAQ. So I'm going to go to the 5 minute on the NASDAQ. And it's a little different than Tesla in that we're already coming to take out this low on this side, where Tesla is not coming to take out its low. It's hanging around in this area to continue up. So Tesla is showing a little bit more strength than the NAS. So NASDAQ has come quite a ways down. So I'd like to see what S&P is doing at this point. So let's see S&P. And we have divergence right away. So this is quite interesting because I'm going to go to look at both of them at the same time. So divergence is quite pronounced on these guys. So if I go to the 5 minute, we can see the divergence. So we have, let me move this up a little bit. The NAS, which cannot take out this low over here, but S&P can. So there's a strong divergence there. So it's showing that the S&P is much weaker currently because it could not take out, it's weaker because it took out this low while NASDAQ is failing to take out that low. But it looks like it might still.
Oh. That's the NAS on the left, Lennox, right?
NASDAQ's on the left-hand side,
okay.
Yes.
The low that you were trying to take out is at what price? I mean, time, I'm sorry.
That time is 10:40.
So that would be 1:10?
That's 10:40 Eastern.
Oh, 10:40 Eastern. Oh, okay, that's
yes.
good. Because my problem... yeah, I see. Okay, very good.
Okay, now I want to take a look at this time because when I was lying in bed there this morning, trying to wake up, which I had a hard time waking up this morning, I kept falling asleep after. I was looking at this area here around the 10:40 mark, and on the 1 minute time frame, I just want to show you guys what I saw, and this is quite interesting. So Here is 1040 right here. So this is a 1040 low. So for anyone playing, this is this whole area here. This is just a lovely setup. This is exactly what we're looking for all the time. We get this move down to these lows, and then we start to move out, and you had a number of chances to get into to make a play to this for this move to the upside, take profits at these levels, and the opportunities were all in here. You had an opportunity here, opportunity here, opportunity here to catch that move. So that's what we're looking for all the time, is that 1, 2, 3 bottom. Here at the last move, there's a sweep right there. There's also a sweep right here. So change of character right there, move back to the upside. And then it retrace back 50 to 62% back into a gap. Everything is just check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark. We close above the sweep. So there's a lot of check marks here. And when you get more than 3 check marks, 2 or 3 check marks, when you get more than 2 check marks, it's you should be buying. This is just a mechanical thing. You should just be buying at that point, or selling, depending on which direction you're going, of course.
Yeah,
but
and I was in a trade right around that, but it was 1022 that I got in, and let me see, I got in. So I got 85 handles out of it.
And then around the same time here, so you were seeing these, taking advantage of these 1, 2, 3s at this point. So we had a series of them, 1, 2, 3 of them, and then we get this nice move. So again, seeing this opportunity setting up is just beautiful. And this first one is probably the best one, because it gave us all the confluence that we were looking for. The sweep here, the largest sweep there, a sweep there, a closure above the sweep, retrace back into the low. So you get in at this point, and a stop, keep your stop below, and you could take some off here. You can get back in again. You could get back in again. You could take some off at the top, that type of thing. There's lots of opportunities for
yeah, there was a lot of opportunities today in NAS.
All right, so there goes.
Closed out my last trade. I got 263 handles.
There goes. That's incredible. That's a lot of handles there, George.
Tesla's heading for 223.
Yeah, Tesla should be falling below, just like what I was trying to say there earlier. We got the 1, 2, 1, 2, this drop. They chop it around, and then they drop it one more time, take out the lows, and we've come down and hit our gap down here now. So that's what we were looking for. So we're looking for an opportunity now on the 5 minute. You can see we're almost touching that gap now. So it's almost like perfection here. So will they come into the gap? You'd like to see them do that. They could even come and touch this order block over here. That's possible. So they've come pretty close though to touching the gap itself. So that, we can see that we're going to drop like another time
now on the Tesla, but I don't have enough check marks yet to say that we have a go.
It's not a go as yet, because we have a 1, 2, 3 here, and we dropped. We would expect another drop.
Another drop. It was definitely in the cards.
So one more time down, that will put us right into that gap.
Yes.
And
that makes sense.
Of course.
I think NASDAQ is trying to do pretty much the same thing.
Yes, because they're basically going in tandem. The one proviso here, of course, is that sometimes we don't get a fifth wave, so we have to be aware of that. And yes, we're expecting one more drop, but Sometimes it doesn't do that, and we could just take off. But I would expect us to break that low one more time.
I find the trend.
Okay.
I find that drawing trend line really helps me keep track of where prices going.
Yes, and that's a good thing to do indeed. So let's take a look at S&P. S&P has broken down below the lows as well. So I'm looking for S&P to drop one more time. And I'm looking for the NAS to also drop one more time here. So they're all doing the same thing right now. We've got the 1, 2, the 3, and one more drop to take out the lows. So S&P would be almost identical, and Tesla is almost identical. So let's see. Bitcoin sometimes is similar. So let's see if it's pretty much the same as well. So Bitcoin breaking this low, and you can see. So that's what we're expecting to see in Tesla and NAS and S&P, that break of that low. And then we can look for a turnaround to go back up. So Bitcoin is setting up for that move already almost, and opportunity to be heading back up. Lots of gaps over here.
Bitcoin is sitting right into the, looks like it's about in the middle or slightly below a large fair value gap that goes over to the left-hand side.
Yes, and a series of them over here. So
Yes. But the highest one is quite large.
so this is where you put the fib on, and you can see we're right in between 50 and 72% right now on the retrace into a gap. So that's where we kind of expect price to start to make a turn, and we're come down 5 waves. So I'll be looking for an entry on Bitcoin here, I would think, to take us back. So Bitcoin has had quite the move. Nice 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is an AB. So we could actually they could actually come down even more and take out this low. That's possible as well. So I have to be a little careful on Bitcoin, because when you go with the higher time frame, you can see we have a larger one too. So that could take us down even further. That's a possibility, maybe back down to this order block.
Below the big one I was talking about on the left, it's into the next one. I have a suspicion that it's going to go down further yet.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility based on this move here. So if I put a fib on this entire move, I have my 50% is even lower. So this little move right now could be definitely elongated.
Very, very aggressive move down now.
I had some, yeah.
There's Ethereum. Ethereum has broken that low. So Ethereum is bucking the trend of Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is battling to get below this low. Ethereum has already broken that low. So you can see on Bitcoin, we haven't broken that low yet. So I would expect them to break that low.
Bitcoin's into the order block.
So quite interesting setups here. And so sometimes you get lost. You're down on the 1 minute time frame, and you get blindsided, and you're thinking, oh, okay, that's this could be it. But then you go to the higher time frame and realize that, there's a lot more downside possible. So always good to go higher up on the chart to take a look at where you are overall. And I could be correct, and this could be a turnaround point, yes, but it might just be a short-term move. So because I've got a larger 1, 2 here, we could just do that, and then drop one more time, taking out these lows. Back to the NAS.
Actually said there could be more coming.
Okay, so NAS is now taking out the low, and S&P did take out the low. So now they're both on the same wavelength. See where Tesla is heading. Tesla's come right into that gap, touching midpoint of the gap exactly. So that's just this could be the bottom for Tesla at this point. We could see a turnaround now.
We're getting a pretty good sized candle on NASDAQ. Well, it's going back now in the 1 minute. Lennox, one of the problems I was seeing this morning that actually caused me some consternation is that the ATR got up to 80, which is a huge ATR on the 1 minute chart.
Yeah, it's pretty volatile.
Yeah, extremely volatile. And because of that, I couldn't move my stop fast enough and I got skunked on that one. And, took me another hour before I got myself back into where I was originally and slightly above. The VIX right now is just shy of 29. It's been between 26 and 27, but it's now shooting up. It's 28.96 right now. So a lot of caution should be taken because you're getting some aggressive moves going on.
This is NVIDIA. Just wanted to take a look at NVIDIA. I thought it would be similar to Tesla, and it is. So NVIDIA is quite a nice setup here. We had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave moves, the A to B to C, coming back into a gap. So it's similar to Tesla. Opportunity, order block here and everything for a possible turnaround for NVIDIA to go back up. But anywhere between this area and this area at this point, is great if you're buying for long term. Anywhere between 110 and 105 right now is a great place to be buying NVIDIA, I would think. However, right where we are currently is very, very much a strong buy opportunity for NVIDIA. So set up very nicely right now, NVIDIA. Tesla is almost identical.
Yeah.
Set up really nicely on Tesla there.
Yeah, I covered my short on Tesla.
Yeah, it's probably a good move.
So using those trend lines, there you go. That will be a buy once this candle closes on Tesla. Looking at our structure, we have a sweep. We have a move up.
What's interesting that the DeMark trend line that you're talking about on Tesla is exactly at the midpoint line of my 120-day regression channel, linear regression channel.
Yeah.
Now it just shot
so there's a buy on Tesla right there. We're using the lines. Or we could wait for. So now we're breaking above the high. I'd like to see a closure and then a retrace back. And there is I'm just going to make this a little bigger. There is an inverted gap in here. So we could see price coming back to touch that inverted gap, or even to
that might be a harder one to get to.
Touch the previous trend line.
Yeah, that's what it normally does.
Yeah, so something like that would work for Tesla. But a nice setup. There's also a gap here, a little lower down, but it's been partially mitigated. Right there. So you can see we did push back in. We're right on the trend line. We could touch the inverted gap. Very close to touching it. The precision is amazing, and we've just touched it now. And that might just be enough to send us up. Okay, they went right into the middle of the gap, the inverted gap. So we have a new resistance trend line up there.
Yeah.
So they're coming down a little lower.
Yeah.
And they're coming almost to touch the normal gap there, which has been partially mitigated. There's also an order block there. So yeah, a good buy opportunity there on Tesla.
Yep.
So what if I bought 500 shares of Tesla right here? Let's see. Let's just go, let me buy. I've got 200 here. I'll go 500 shares. 5,000 with 500 shares. It's a good buy right in there.
All you need is a buck to make money.
It's taking a while to show my order. There it is. Okay, so bought it a little bit high. I could have got it a little lower here. So I could buy some more. Just being greedy here. Let's buy another 500. Looking for a big exit out of here. So I'm looking at sweep, check mark, move back to the upside, and breach of previous high. So I've got a couple like this one, but this one is a good one. It didn't get a closure above though. So I've got a couple of check marks and a retrace back into 50 to 62%. That's another check mark. My stop would be below the low here. And yeah, so let's see if that holds. So my stop loss would be right below the lows. I'd like to see them leave out of here. They're taking a bit long to exit this area. But here we go, maybe. And these are my two demand lines. So we don't want to break below that demand line. We want to break above this resistance line now. All right, so where am I heading to is the question now, right? So let's go to the 5 minutes. So I would look for a target to the highs here. 232, that would give you about 8 points. I could even go higher to these highs, but low-hanging fruit is all good. So
Where did you get in on Tesla?
Sorry?
What price did you get in Tesla?
Looks like around the 224.62.
Yeah, that's a good price. It looks like we have a 1, 2, 3 bottom now.
Yes, so I'm looking for a target around 232.60.
232?
Yeah, that area.
Okay,
That'll give me about an $8,000 buy there on Tesla. All right, so let me go to the NAS now and see how the NAS is trying to turn. S&P also trying to turn. Let's see how Bitcoin is looking. So Bitcoin also trying to turn. However, like I say, there might be a bit more downside to Bitcoin because we broke that low on Ethereum. So I'm looking for Bitcoin to do the same, breaking that middle low point here. So we could drop some more on Bitcoin here. So I'll stick to the NAS for the time being here. See. we might again have more downside to come, which is interesting because we're getting that strong move on the Tesla. You would think that would portend strong move on the NAS as well at this point. But
Oh, it did get, my NAS went from up to the 1% standard deviation of my regression channel, so that's not a bad move. The ATR just jumped up to 25. Is still all right, depending upon how close you have on your stops.
oops. Okay. It's giving me hard times here.
And we're starting to get some positive movement on Bitcoin right now, the 1 minute Bitcoin.
Okay, having some problems here. Just trying to connect.
Starting to get some retrace on NAS, 1 minute NAS now. It had gone slightly above its one.
Oh, come on here. It's giving me hard times here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning.
And Marquis, good afternoon.
Good day, gentlemen.
Good day. Okay, I'm having some issues connecting here for whatever reason. I'm not sure what's going on. That's annoying. Let's try again.
At this point, NAS is trying to go back above its 1 standard deviation channel. So it's still a lot of strength in there.
Okay, having some hard times here. Not connecting.
On the first 1, 2, 3 of the 1 minute NASDAQ, we're just up to the 79% area, which would be my first target if I had gotten into it, which I didn't.
How did you do your price projection on your Tesla trade, Lennox?
It's just using the previous high. So if I go to Tesla, which I'm having some troubles here. So NAS, oh, that is Tesla. So yeah, so I'm using the previous high as my price per.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, it's not even that one. It's the one up here. I think I'm going for. From the,
Okay.
I can't even
It
remember
hit
which one I
the
chose.
intermediate high.
I went for 230. Did I say 232 or something? 230.
232.
I have
232. So
2.6.
it'd be up in this area here. So I'm
Oh,
looking
okay.
for that.
You're
But
way.
you can project out using the fibs. So if I put my fib tool on, I can calculate from the low here looking at 1.618. That's a reasonable target, but 2.618 is also a good target.
I would actually be slightly lower than that because we've been in a downtrend. So,
Once these buyers start kicking in here, and it looks like that's what's going on now,
be
you know,
more
we should be good to go. Here we go. So yeah, let me see where my target is now. Not sure what's going on with TradingView here. So my target is set for 232. So I'm looking, if I go to the 5-minute time frame, this, I think that's how I targeted it from the 5 minutes standpoint. So I'm looking at the previous high of that. So we have a 1-2 here. So I'm looking for that previous high, my number 1-2 point, right?
Oh, yeah, I see that.
For target. So that's a totally reasonable, achievable target.
Yeah,
So
that's
at this point, I could even take 500 shares off or 300 shares off because I've reached a medium target there. So it's not a bad idea to do that. So let me take, let's say 300 shares off or thereabouts, and leave 700 to run, or take 400 off and leave 600 to run. Yeah, let me take 400 off. And then let
times two. That's a good profit.
Yeah, and then let the rest go to target there. So nothing wrong with doing that, you know.
Yeah, because that way you can raise your stop up to above break even. And
Yeah, and now I can move my stop. I've got a lot of stuff on here, so let me just get rid of the fibs and all that. So remove these trend lines. So I would want to move my stop now into positive, and I can bring it right up. There is a gap there, so I can bring it right up below this order block in this area for almost $1,000 lock-in profit there. So it's a nice run. So it looks like NAS and S&P, the NAS is doing the same thing. So NAS would have been a good play, and the reason why is because there was a little bit of divergence here. So with S&P and the NAS, there was some divergence. So this could be, remember we had divergence at first, but then the NAS did break through that low. So now it's a turnaround. Is it just going to be a short-term move and we're going to actually come down to take out? No, we already did. We already took that low. So that was what I was expecting there. I think it was Bitcoin that was the one that I was expecting a further drop on. So yeah, so Bitcoin, I was expecting them to take this low out. However, Ethereum already did that. So Ethereum took that low, and that gives us divergence with Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin doesn't have to take that low, and they are not. And that's what we're getting, this divergence. Bitcoin says I'm stronger than Ethereum is. Ethereum went through, and so it's a buy on Bitcoin. So I was thinking that maybe they would come through, but sometimes it's like, okay, I don't have enough sellers to go down there, so I'm just going to turn around and go. So Bitcoin was a buy at that point. So everything is turning around nicely at this point. And look at that beautiful setup, beautiful 1, 2, 3 there. Get the sweep and retrace back in. Nice buy opportunity on Bitcoin there.
yeah, even NASDAQ on the 1 minute looks like it's reached the top slightly above the 200% mark. It still looks like it has upward movement to go, so that might be a false.
I heard that.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know I was on. Didn't realize I didn't mute myself.
Okay, has just reached.
Nothing worse than a bored student. Hey,
No,
Stacy?
watching the market late at night.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that as well.
Yeah, Tesla's rocking and rolling.
So Tesla is, yeah, pushing up just like the NAS and S&P are right now. So we could have bought, either one of them, NAS or the S&P. And all the setups are really nice. You can see the NAS, same type of, just like we looked at earlier at 1040 this morning. The sweep, the move up, the sweep, the retrace, entry, gaps, inverted gaps, everything is there. It's just so many check marks here. This is a buy. And you catch that move. So that's what we're looking for. This setup is like perfection. The only thing missing on this is that at this point here, we did not get a closure above, but it's not a prerequisite. It's a nice to have, more so. Nice to have a closure above the previous high, but it's not a prerequisite. I've noticed from back testing that sometimes you just don't get a closure above, but it doesn't mean that it makes this a weak low, they say, because you don't get a closure. However, it can still push price up, as you can see, very strongly.
Yeah.
So really nice setups here. You got the gap in there, got an inverted gap in there as well. You got an order blocks here. So the order blocks would have been perfect to use here for an entry. Stop right there. So your risk is very tiny. And then you catch that big move.
Peter, I posted my Tesla for you.
So this is a small pullback.
Yeah.
To continue. Take out those highs.
This has enough strength that it might turn around quickly. On Tesla, I'm talking about.
Opportunity for an entry on Bitcoin at this point, possibly. And you're in a fourth wave though, so it can be a little tough in here. I've got a gap there. Be looking for target.
I don't quite have a setup going yet. I'm seeing more down coming on this on Bitcoin. This current candle has a bit of a fair value gap on it, but it hasn't closed yet. It literally has three-quarters of a minute to close, so anything. As is trying to turn down at this point.
That's quite a drop. So
Yeah.
they've come back. Yeah, so they've gone through that gap.
The
Coming back to the order block.
Bitcoin and NAS are dropping in unison right now. I still see more coming.
It looks like the order block might hold the price back.
Is that a 1, 2, 3 top there, Lennox?
I wouldn't. It is technically, but we've got a 1, 2, 3 bottom, so we're not looking at this as a 1, 2, 3 top to come down, right? Unless we figured that yes, we're going to come back down and take out that low again, but looking for this to continue pushing to the upside. So it's technically yes a 1, 2, 3 top, but no in the sense that we're moving up. So if that makes sense.
Well, it looks like
On Tesla, you talking about?
no. Tesla has a 1, 2, 3 bottom now at the top.
Top, you mean?
Yeah, so I wouldn't be looking, at Tesla for a 1, 2, 3 top at this point, and I wouldn't be looking for a 1, 2, 3 top on NAS either. I'm looking to continue pushing to the upside.
Okay.
So same thing when we look at Tesla. Yes, you could say technically that is a 1, 2, 3 top, but you don't want to look at it that way because we've got a 1, 2, 3 bottom. So
And now we have
what's
another
controlling
1, 2,
the move.
bottom.
So you don't want to look at a 1, 2, 3 top here.
We now have a 1, 2, 3 bottom at the top there.
We've got a 1, 2, 3 bottom again.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that we're done and we can take off out of there. We could still gyrate around in here, right? It is a fourth wave after all. So,
This is
but-
called
but
wait
because-
and see.
because we have a 1, 2, 3 bottom controlling the move, you don't want to look at a 1, 2, 3 top in here.
Okay, got it. Yep, I understand.
So until I break above this high, I don't want to move my stop because you can move your stop up and they can take you out quick. And there we go. So now I would feel okay, well, more confident in moving my stop up below that 1, 2, 3 point. Locking some more profits there.
It's moving up.
228.
Not too far from target now.
Some
Since I'm at 48.48, I could just make this $5,000 even. I would expect them to go through a little bit. And not just it's going to go right to the point and stop, they'll go through a little bit more than likely.
229.98 is what I'm looking for.
229.
229.98.
Yeah,
That's
you're
what I'm
getting
looking
there already. And so that's just that first hump there. But we should easily make it to even these highs here as well. So I mean, I could put my target up here and continue moving my stop to the upside, following price. But looking very strong here right now, that's for sure. So you've hit your target now.
Yeah, I'm just about out.
NASDAQ is moving aggressively.
So when we go down to the 1 minute, you can see since we have a 1, 2, 3 here, just like we had a 1, 2, 3 here,
Yeah.
then we know that we're going to go to a fourth wave here and push through one more time. That's what we would expect, right? So that's why I can target higher price.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that it has to, but that's what we would expect again, right? So I've had quite a run. If I'm going to go just show you my. I'm at 1.7 million now. I'm less than 300,000 away from 2 mil, and I've had quite a run. I've had only one loss since last night. I think in 20 trades I've had one loss. So I've had just a lot of winnings. So just to show you, this is all doable. Yeah, one loss in 20 trades, not bad.
Well, I had a couple of losses today, but the volatility has been so high that I don't move things quickly enough.
But it's all the power of this setup, this 1, 2, 3 setup. And that's all I'm using.
But if I set my stops too close, volatile like this, I can get hurt quickly.
All right, so will we make it past that up to this target now is the question at this point. So let me go back to the 5 minute. So where are they going? They're seeking liquidity, right? So if they're seeking liquidity, then liquidity sits above these highs. So we should be able to go through those highs. So I can mark that off. We're looking for them to go through that high there. So you're taking out liquidity here. Any sellers in here are gone. And sellers left here. Lots of sellers in here and above here as well. We should be able to make it and break through that high. But I could always move my stop up further just in case they decide they're not gonna go through for whatever reason. There's my last gap, so I could go here for lock in almost 3,000 in profit here. That's pretty good.
Bitcoin got to a prior high. Whether in that one or not.
So Bitcoin has made, this pattern that we're seeing here currently.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is doing almost identical pattern.
It's got a little bit deeper
You can see it's the exact same thing, just a little deeper retrace.
Yeah.
And you get that nice push. Ethereum would be doing similar. But the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum was that at this point down here, there was the divergence. Ethereum did not, Ethereum broke the low, and Bitcoin did not. So there was that sweep on Ethereum. So they really play against each other. Ethereum and Bitcoin, quite interesting.
Okay, yeah, NASDAQ just shot up ATR again. It's at 36 now, which is high. Anything over 30 for me is high. That would at 30 would be a 45 stop at 1.5 times the ATR.
So great plays on any of these, S&P, NASDAQ, Tesla, NVIDIA, probably same thing. Yep. All these were nice setups for nice moves. I wonder if MicroStrategy did this similar thing. Yep. They're all doing the same thing. You notice? So the buyers are kicking back into the market here is with a lot of strength. And if you can spot it, you can really take advantage of these moves.
You have to be nimble, though.
Yeah, you don't need everything. You just trade one thing. You know, I just traded Tesla. That was it. It's sometimes it's very difficult to catch multiple instruments, right? As we well know.
So in the morning, I just play one thing.
Yeah, you just need one. No need to be greedy.
If I try to be greedy, that's when I tend to take too many losses.
I think Peter said it best. Pigs get
What did I say?
something. Pigs get something.
Slaughtered.
Slaughtered. Indeed. So slow grind to the upside here. Move my stop up a bit more here.
We're at 232 now.
Final push now. So we're looking for them to go through that high and just touch that target there, and we could see a pullback to retrace the entire move. Right? That would be the expected move. So now we've touched that target. So I'd like to see them go through a little bit. They might not go through all the way. So I could, sometimes it's just a little tick. Sometimes they go through a little bit more. But, it looks pretty good. I'll move my stop right up underneath just in case they decide they're not going to go through all the way to the top. But they might do it, though. I'll put it up $4,000 profit. I would expect them to go through, but you just never know. They did go through, but I guess there's a spread. So the price did tick by a tick it went through. So that might be it. So I might have to close it manually. We'll give them another chance to go through. So I think the spread might have, I might have discounted the spread there, and they did tick one tick above. So I need more than one tick above, it looks like. This time we might go through. And we went through by a couple of ticks and it still didn't take me out. Wow, okay. So there must be a big spread on here.
There usually is.
Ah, okay. So let me just double check what the spread is. Yeah, see, they're coming back quite a bit. So I had close to 5,000 there. Let me just see what the spread is here. Bid ask.
888 cents.
Oh, that much, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a big spread. Okay, so yeah, might be expecting too much for them to go that much higher up. I'll give it one more shot here, see if they go through this time. So there's a bid and ask. Sometimes it's close, sometimes it's wide. So one more push up. Either that or I'll just take 5,000 if I hit 5,000 on the profit. Yeah, there is quite, the spread moves. There we go. Okay, so I didn't have to close it manually, so that's good. So interesting that the third time it went through, and the spread shortened at that moment in time. So it was quite interesting. The bid and ask. Yeah, I never really think about the bid and ask when I'm playing NAS. It's quite tight most of the time. It's a little different when you're playing the stocks. So there we go. So that's the move that you would expect them to come back up to this previous high. Now they could go higher, of course. They can go all the way up here. However, what we're looking at is because we've had 5-wave move here, we would expect a retrace first before we continue. So looking for them to pull back. And this could, even on the 1-minute chart, you could go back in and sell this move back down if you wanted to. That's if you're nimble, looking for about a 50% retrace, and then buy opportunity again, maybe in the 228 area to continue. So that's what I would expect. Now it doesn't mean that they have to do that. They can continue straight up, but after getting 5 waves, we would expect a bit of a retrace here. So, and this is always the case. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. It's always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. So it's always moving in 5 waves. That's the whole secret to it.
The wavy train.
It's a wavy train, yes. So we expect a pullback. So where would we pull back to? And again, I can use the fibs and looking for a retrace of this entire move. back down to around the 50% area, which is right here. And so there's a
228.
gap there, order blocks there. So we'd expect something like that. Now, it doesn't have to come back 50%. It can come back 38%. It can come back 23%. You know, it all depends on the strength of the move, but you typically, 50% is a good gauge. You always, anytime we get 5 waves, we want to look for 50% retrace and then a continuation. So that's a typical.
So you'd be looking for a 1, 2, 3 top now.
Yes, 1, 2, 3 top now to take us back down to this area, and then 1, 2, 3 bottom to take us to continue the move, right? So we're looking for 5 waves down. And again, it doesn't have to do that, but that's the expectation after 5 waves up. If there's a lot of strength, sometimes you just get a little blip and it continues, right? And there has been quite a lot of strength here, so we have some gaps down below. So I'm not using the indicator for the gaps because I find it put too many gaps on. So just looking at putting them in myself. So here's the 50% area, and there's a gap there. So that seems like a reasonable area for price to come back into and then continue on. Okay, so that's Tesla. Okay, so the NAS, similar on the NAS, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. Looking for the retrace here as well, and the same, it's almost identical, right? We've got a gap there on the NAS right there. So I would think that 50% would be somewhere in this area. I could mark that to be sure. And 50% is just below that gap. So ideally, you want to see price come below 50% if you're buying, right? You're buying, you want to see price coming below 50%. And you want to try to get in below 50% for buying. But again, no guarantee that it's going to do that. So there is another gap right here below, right below 50%. So this will be the ideal if it's going to move back down. And I say if because again, no guarantee that it will. So Bitcoin looks nice. Get to the top, got a 1, 2, 3, come back down. And see Ethereum. Ethereum similar. NASDAQ, not so much. They look like they want to take that high out again. S&P. The S&P took the high by a tick, it looks like. 589.1, 580, no, it's a tie. So could come down. And then Tesla. Tesla's looking really good to come down.
If we plot a trend line, then that'll help us get in.
Yeah, if you wanted to play it back to the downside, you could certainly plot your trend line. So you wouldn't want to see us going above the high now, going back above if we want to continue down. So they might just sweep that high. We've got 1, 2 here, 3, 4. So that could be, they could sweep that high, so we're not really done. And before they come back and take this low. Yeah, it looks like that's what they're doing. So they kind of fool people to go in early, and they come back up and sweep them. And then we could get the drop coming down. That's, so you always have to be checking where your 5 waves are. That's one of the things that's really tricky. Or this is, they're just continuing to the upside. Like I said, they give you a little blip and then they continue because there's so much strength there, right?
So how do you see the 5 waves going up, Lennox?
From this low.
Yeah, down here, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, and then this move to the upside. However, this is an elongated, quite a long wave here. So I thought we'd be done right there, but they're breaking above. So either they're continuing to the upside, and we're not going to get a retrace like I was expecting, or we're not done this leg, and maybe they're just sweeping here now to do that and come back down. That's possible, or we're just continuing straight up. So there's seems like a lot of strength in the market right now. So
very much strength in the market.
yeah. So we, if we look at it from the 5-minute time frame, we've got this one, 2. So we're in a third wave. So it doesn't mean that we have to retrace. This is a third wave. So we could just continue straight up, taking out these highs. So that's why I was saying I could put my target to this high, but I would, when you get to this point, you would expect a retrace first before you continue. But that doesn't necessarily have to be that way. But it's all good, if you got in down here and you got out here and took some profits, you're all good. You don't need to be making this high, as a target.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's a nice to have, of course, but we can still get a retrace. So you have to be really careful on that. We could be sitting here waiting for them to reach this high, and they don't do it for the rest of the day.
Yep.
In fact, they
So
did
again,
that last week. We were constantly waiting for the turnaround, and it ended up being a long-dated move in the opposite direction.
Yeah, because that's why you cannot be too greedy, right? You take your profits when you get them, and you can always get back in. So NAS looks like it's hit that area where we could turn around and come back. S&P as well.
Nice upward move, that's for sure.
Very nice move to the upside.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And Bitcoin is bucking the trend. Bitcoin looks very strong.
Positive HA candles on the 3-minute NAS. Very strong.
Interesting difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin. On this candle right here at the 915 candle, we had a huge move to the upside on Ethereum, but on Bitcoin we didn't get that big move up. So now we're taking out that high on Bitcoin, but Ethereum is still struggling to get there. But we do have a large 1, 2, 3 bottom, so it's looking very strong. So we've got the entire move, and looking to just push out of there. And Bitcoin is similar. You can see you can play it on the 5-minute too. Eh? You can the same type of movement you can play on the 5-minute. Much better on the 1-minute because you get better entries. That's the beauty of it. But looking very strong for Bitcoin to continue here. That's our time. Okay, so we're in algo time, eh? And this is definitely an algo move today. So we got a really nice algo move today at 2 o'clock, moving nicely to the upside.
The 5-minute algo move is really beautiful.
So still looking for a little bit of a pullback here.
Yeah, well, that could be coming right now.
You're getting a little bit of a pullback on Tesla.
Yeah, I just got my first turning candle on the 3-minute chart.
So this is going to be different now. My high is up here. So my 50% level moves down a little bit, up a little bit, I should say. So we're now our 50% level is right into this gap. If we were to get a pullback 50% area, again, it's possible, but we shall see here.
Yeah, Bitcoin's doing somewhat the same thing as the NAS is doing on the 1-minute.
Yeah, they're all basically doing the same thing right now. And you know, yesterday all we saw was red on the board here, and now we get lots of green.
Yeah,
A good sign, you know. Nice to see things turn around.
You see a 1, 2, 3 top on Tesla, Lennox on the 1-minute.
let me see.
Not as yet, but
Well, I mean, it's
getting
doing
there.
the exact same thing as NASDAQ.
As an as, yeah, but getting close to being one. So yeah, it's pulling back now. So
Yeah, it hit the 234. Actually, it turned my regression channel to positive on the Tesla.
you'd want to see them breach this low here. Oops, not a very good line. Breach this low here. Come back down.
And that trend line break.
And the trend line break, yeah. So now it's setting up a 1-2. Just make this a little bigger. Big inverted gap there. So we could see a fall here. So they just went up to sweep these highs here. Took those guys out. Anybody who was selling early. Now we got a lot of buyers here thinking that, okay, we are going to break through, because when you get to a previous high, like we did, we come up to this previous high. Lots of breakout traders here, right? Looking for price to continue. So they take out the sellers who decide that, oh, this is the top, so it's going to go back. So they've taken them out, and now the buyers who just think that it's going to go up get taken out. So now we could drop through.
Yeah, we have a trend line break right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this could be the top, and then if we close below this low, then yeah, that would take us back down into this area here somewhere. So if you think that, you know, there's enough momentum and price to take you down, you know, the 220, this is 228 to 233, that's 5 points. 5 points is a nice amount. If you felt strongly that, you know, you could get back down to 228 area, you could sell. But, you know, you have to be careful doing that, of course, because, again, no guarantee that you're going to go that far down. But based on the 1, 2, 3, once we start breaking that low, pushing down, breaking this low, yeah, it's definitely possible that we could get back to 228 area, 2850 or something like that. But having, you know, you've ridden it up all this way, you don't really want to be selling up here to come back down.
Why not?
You're looking to give them back your money that you made.
It's tempting.
It's tempting. Yeah, it's always tempting.
Or this could just be wave 4. Like we had a 1, 2, 3 bottom down around 228, followed by wave 3. Maybe we're in wave 4 now.
If I go to the 5-minute, you see this move from here to here is 5 waves. Even in here, there are 5 waves, right? Even in here, there are 5 waves. So the move to the upside would be 5 waves. And then we would expect 5 waves coming down. You see?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I'm looking at the markets all the time, looking at the structure all the time. It's always 5 waves. Even in these little legs, there's 5 waves. Even in here, there are 5 waves. Even in this first leg, there's 5 waves. You just can't see it. Coming down, there's 5 waves. So this is a whole, that's how it's moving all the time. It's moving in waves of 5. The fib 5. You could call it the Fab 5, I guess. But it's a, you know, a fib number. It's always moving in 5 waves. Why it does that, I don't know. Maybe because we have 5 senses, 5 fingers, 5 toes on each side. I don't know why it does in 5s, but it does. And the movement has been said that it's all based on human emotions. So human emotions consist of 5 senses. So perhaps that's why. I'm just speculating. I have no idea. But so again, for all the YouTubers out there, this is all again just educational purposes. Even though we're not telling anybody to make these trades, but you can see that great opportunities to make profits in these markets. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be specific times. Yes, it can be in specific times, of course, but it's the market's always forming these 1, 2, 3 setups that we're looking for all the time, and it's just a matter of catching the right ones. And they can be specific times. Yes, the 2 o'clock algo, the 10 minutes to the hour algo, and so forth. But I trade at any time, Asian session, Europe session, or London session, as they call it. New York session. It doesn't matter what time of the day, what time, you can go into the market once you understand what's going on, and you can make money. So for those out there who are new with us and so forth, it's a very simple concept that we look at. It's just a 1, 2, 3 concept. And using Elliott wave as the backbone, as the base foundation of that. So do give us a like and subscribe if you're at all interested, and let others know that they can come here and learn how to trade and make profits on any instrument in the market. We trade it. We trade anything and everything, but we primarily stick to Bitcoin, NASDAQ, S&P. And you can see Tesla. We look at the stocks as well, but it doesn't really matter what it is. If I didn't have a name up, no one would know what this is where we're trading. And if I didn't have the time up, no one would know what time frame we're trading, because it's all the same. Doesn't matter what the time frame is. You can trade on any time frame, but we find that the best time frames are the lower ones, like the 1 minute, because you get the best bang for your money on that level. And it's very difficult, of course, to show you what's going on using the hourly or 4-hour, because that take too long. So stick to the 1 minute time frame, and you can see what's going on in real time.
Yep.
So they're not looking like they want to come down in a hurry here, Peter. More sideways movement here. So
well, it's analogous to wave 4. Like,
they're chopping it up a little bit here, but they can still bring it down.
Oh yeah, I'm plotting my trend lines and all that stuff, but there's no fast movement down, that's for sure.
No.
I mean, you could easily get sucked into going short here.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to give your money back if you do, because there's no guarantee that it's going to drop.
Yeah,
I'm expecting it to.
I need to see an impulse wave after a 1, 2, 3. I need to see some follow through. But this looks very much like wave 4.
And we know that wave 4, they can bring it down. They can certainly bring it back down. So they'll chop it and then drop it down.
If we get a 1, 2, 3 top in the middle of wave 4, then that's gangbusters. I mean, it will probably come when we least expect it. That's why you have to keep watching for a 1, 2, 3. In this case, we would be anticipating a 1, 2, 3 top in the midst of wave 4. And when you're looking at wave 4, you think, oh my gosh, nothing's ever going to happen. It's just dead. And then all of a sudden there's a 1, 2, 3.
Yep, it's gone. Well, NASDAQ is tempting because we have a 1, 2, 3 there. We have a sweep and all that. Everything's looking pretty good that it could go. But again, they can mess you up, and they can go up and then bring it back down again. So because it does look like a fourth wave area. So it's tempting, and that's what draws people in. They don't want to miss out, so they jump in. Stops are all under here, of course. Some of the smart people put their stops under here. They think they're smart, but they come down and take you out. So you have to be really careful at this area. And yeah, maybe we're totally wrong and it's not going to fall and it just continues going, and that's okay. You miss it, no problem. There'll be other opportunities, so it's all good.
Yeah, one of the things I've learned the hard way is when you see price run either up or down with lots of momentum, that's going to be followed by wave 4. Because it's very easy to get sucked into jumping on momentum, and then whoops, we're in wave 4.
Well, I'm looking at NAS here, and on the 5-minute time frame, this is a 1-2. So this is 3-4. We are in a fourth wave, and now they're looking to go and take out this high. So that's what they're doing. So, but they can stay in here for a while. They could even drop it back first before they do that. So you take a risk jumping in at this point.
Yeah, it looks like with Tesla, they might be gunning for 236.
So Tesla on the 5-minute, this whole move, 1-2, consists of 5 waves. So that could be our 1-2. This is the fourth wave. And then we go one more time to take out these highs. Same thing.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
So that's, you know, because if I go back to the 1 minute on Tesla and we look at this move down here, yes, this is a 1-2 at this point here.
But what about that 1, 2, 3 in the middle at around 228?
Yeah, so this move here, it, you know, this whole thing can be a one. This is the whole 1-2 as well, and then you get this big third wave move, and now we're gyrating in a fourth wave, looking to continue out.
Yeah, because we have that 1, 2, 3 in and around 228.
Yes, at that point.
And then followed by wave 3.
So this is a pullback, 1-2, and then we go again. Now we go into a fourth wave, and then we go one more time. So that's why I was saying that it's possible that we could be heading to the higher highs, but I didn't really want to put my target up there because we could get a pullback in here. So and again, we can still get that pullback.
Yeah.
You know, they're manipulating right now and accumulating, so they can manipulate back down and then continue, you know, take it, because there's a lot of stops here. They can easily take everybody out before they go. They have the money, they can do that.
Yeah. Oh, to be a market maker, eh?
Yes. Or if they've accumulated enough, they're gone. They're going to take off. So that's why I was saying that it's not a good idea to sell here.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Now she's taking off.
She might. Well, the NAS certainly looks like it's gone. S&P is gone. Yeah, so they're going. So a nice little ruse on their part. They certainly made it look like they were going to come down a bit, but they didn't even take these guys out over here, interestingly. Thought for sure we would be taking, almost would have bet the farm that they were going to take these guys out here, but they did not. So sighs of relief for these guys who bought here, put their stops on there. Nice buy in here to continue, but again, it's very risky buying in here. So.
Why do you say that, Lennox?
Because of where we are, they could easily come down and take you out before they go.
Yeah.
And all they need is a wick. Or a tail. Tail, right, George?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't take these guys out here.
Well, they're not done yet. We have a 1, 2, 3 there in the middle of wave 4.
Yes. Yeah, nice 1, 2, 3 right there. And another one. And then off they go. So it looks like that was the ploy. They were just accumulating a bit more, and they did not come down like I was expecting. And they're off to go and take out the highs to the left. And we're already there. So that was quick. So at this point here, we could expect a retrace. So maybe that's where they were going to do the retrace. So again, tempting to put target to that level. Certainly, we do have a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom. We're in a third wave. We might just continue straight up, or we could get a little pullback and continue. So this is a change of character right here. So you can see how. Let me just get rid of all this stuff off, so you can see. Get rid of all this. Okay, so this is our 1, 2, 3 change of character, closure above. So we would expect a retrace and then a continuation. So that's our pattern. There's a sweep, move up. This would be a big change of character here. So they're going to take that high out. Might get a closure above and a retrace. So same kind of thing. That's the pattern. That's off the 15-minute time frame. So sweep, move up. You got to change a character in there. Move back down and back down 50 to 62%. Buy opportunity. Back up to previous high. Change your character again. Close above. So lots of check marks. So breaking this high, closing above would be ideal. Retrace back in, and then we go again. That would give us good confidence that the market is hit bottom, essentially, and looking to continue up. When we looked at Tesla from the weekly time frame, remember what we looked at on the bigger picture was we come back into this gap, and I would be expecting a bounce here back to the upside. So where would we go to? Because we have a 1, 2, 3 here. This is what's controlling the move right now. This drop, we could come back into this gap here perhaps, and then one more drop is possible. That gives us our 5 waves. So we're not out of the woods in the market in the sense that, yes, we could get a nice push back up, but something is going to occur later on near the end of the month, it looks like, to bring this market back down again. Didn't Trump say he's doing something after April 1st? He's waiting for after April 1st to do something with the tariffs or something like that?
Yeah, he didn't want to do something on April Fool's Day. I can't remember.
So it looks like we could get a nice push to that time. And then around April 2nd, after April 1st, anyways, something he says or something is going to happen that will bring the market back down again into May and June.
It's reconciliation tariffs.
Yeah, I mean
reciprocal tariffs.
Reciprocal tariffs.
Yeah.
This seems like a logical move in the markets that pushes Tesla back up into that area, and then we would expect a 5th wave coming back down to take out these lows again. So that's a definite possibility here. So there we are. We're right at the high now. So again, I can see 5 waves going up now. So can we get a retrace of that move? Or they just continue? Because we are in a third wave. This is a very powerful wave that we're in right now. So sometimes you're looking for a large pullback, you don't get it. It's just very small blips that continue. This is what makes this game fun, trying to figure it all out. So after a nice move like this where you make some nice profits, you don't even need to play again for the rest of the day. You know, it's not necessary for you to jump back in and try to make more money when you're just going to give it back. So
It's tempting. Human nature being what it is.
were you in the Garden of Eden, Peter?
Not that I'm aware of.
You say to Eve, it's tempting. Notice that Eve blamed the man, eh?
Yeah.
Oh no, she blamed the snake. Oh yeah, she blamed the snake. The snake told me to eat it. Adam blamed the woman. The woman.
Looks like we've got a bunch of back-to-back 1, 2, 3s on the 1 minute Tesla propelling this thing higher.
Yeah, they're pushing above a little bit above, so it could be an inducement to push to entice people to go higher here. And it could just be a continuation, certainly, because it's looking pretty strong. The markets are quite strong today. Nice turnaround. And there is a 5-wave move right now on NAS, very clear. So they've we're at a crucial point, more than likely at a previous high here. Let's see how it looks on the 5-minute. And they've broken through that high quite decisively. Yeah, they're just going. Wow. So this is a very strong move on NAS and S&P. And so Tesla is going to follow suit. So where are they heading? S&P is already taken out that high at 10:05, 10 o'clock, the 10 o'clock high. So they're heading for the 8 o'clock high, essentially. NASDAQ taking out that 10 o'clock high, and the 8 o'clock high has already been taken. So what else is over there? Nothing. Let's go to the 15. So we have the high here. So that might be the next, and very close to that. So I'm still looking for a retrace here. It should be one. You know, we're not just going to go straight up forever here. So it looks like a reasonable target. This high here. We'll go to the 30-minute. So what we're seeing then is, you know, if we look on the 30-minute, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interesting here. I bet on the S&P there is a divergence down here. Let me just take a quick boo. Ooh, quite interesting. So yeah, we didn't take out this low here. So on the NAS, you see how the NAS went down and didn't. So we got a sweep here on the NAS, and then we came down. That gives us our 5 waves, and then we make a 1-2 here, and now we're heading out. But on the S&P, we did not take out that low, so there was divergence there when we took it out over here. So the S&P's 1, 2, 3 is going to be here to go up, while the Nasdaq's S&P, Nasdaq's 1, 2, 3 is at this level. So there was a difference. If you're following what I'm saying here, if you're following what I'm seeing, it's quite an interesting difference with them. So Nasdaq swept and then gave us that drop, and then we couldn't take out this low. So that gives us the 1, 2, 3 this way, and then we go. But we're going to get a retrace here to go, just like the S&P. But the S&P didn't give us this 1, 2, 3 like this. So that was the difference between them. So the S&P said, I'm going to take out that low, and then I'll give you a 1, 2, 3 here to go. So they're coming back to these highs, and then we'll get a retrace back. So that's what I would see happening. So it's quite interesting there. So are we at the top? We've taken out that high. Are they going to go and take that high? Maybe, maybe not. 5 minute could be getting very close to the end of the move here. Might be at the end of the move because we've got 5 waves in there now. So this could be the end of that move. We could get a 1, 2 here, and we could start coming back down. And that gives us 5 waves up. So yeah, we might be very close to the top now, Peter, I would think.
I would agree.
Yeah. So it's looking that way now. Bitcoin might be near the top as well. Very, very similar movement. So there could be possibility of another push above. Because this 1, 2, this could all be 3, and then we go one more time. So that would be a sweep. Otherwise, we get divergence. Lots of divergences with Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's interesting. Got to really pay attention to those two. Get divergence at this point. So see how they diverted right there? We get a 1, 2, 3 right here on Bitcoin, but we don't get one on Ethereum. Diverted this way. So little subtleties causing people to make the wrong decisions at those points. So Ethereum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Ethereum, is possible that Ethereum will not take out this high, and we'll get divergence here. That could get divergence here. And then Bitcoin could possibly take out the high and then come back. So interesting. That's our time. Okay, we're in the last hour. Not seeing any plays here at all, though. Not seeing any nice setups to jump into at all. So you just don't. As simple as that, right?
What about the 1 minute on Tesla, Lennox?
It's tempting again, eh, Peter?
Well,
Yeah. Okay, so we've broken. We've got broken our support here.
trend line break, 1, 2, 3 top.
Trend line break and heading down. So can we make it back down to these areas here? Looks so. So we need to really take out these relatively equal lows here. Yeah, this is why it's tempting. You know, you'll get a nice 1, 2, 3, and you want to trade that down quick. So that would be the same on the NAS, I'm sure. NAS is starting to do that. So NAS has already got the 1, 2, 3, and it's dropping. S&P would be similar. Yes.
Well, I took the bait.
I figured you would because you kept saying it was tempting. That's brave,
Well,
Peter. That's very brave.
I don't. I mean, there's no. I hate seeing a chance to trade if you're just going to look at it.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm trying to be. What's the word here? I'm trying to be not only patient, but pick the right spots, the best setups, and so forth. So, yeah, typically, you know me, I'm always jumping into these trades and so forth. But I'm just trying to show everyone that it's not necessary for you to do that because say you were following along and you made that nice trade up to the highs here. You've made some nice profit. You don't really need to go back in anymore. It's good edification just to watch and see what price does. It's not necessary for you to go jump in and try to throw away your profits. So, being patient and yeah, there's a word I'm missing here. Somebody could say the word. I know what the word.
Impulsive.
I can't have it in my mind, but I can't say it for whatever reason. You're showing restraint, that it's not necessary for you to jump in and trade again at this point, right? But certainly, definitely, you get a 1, 2, 3. It's very tempting to want to jump in and trade it. That's what it's all about, right? Especially we've come to a high, and yeah, looking pretty good that we should continue down. We need to break these lows and so on. So yeah, it's very tempting.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
This is it. Nothing ventured, nothing lost. How's everybody doing? Well, Armin. That was Armin talking. Okay, Marquis, AC. So we need another drop here, Peter. I'll help you out.
I had my mic off.
Yeah, just give it a shove down there, Lennox.
Yeah, I think it's heading down. Again, even this is a tempting sell at that point. We got a nice 1, 2, and then we get another 1, 2 to sell. So like I say, typically I'm jumping into these trades to the downside. I'm just kind of being a bit restrained today.
All I want is 232.16.
232.
Yeah.
You're not going down very far.
I only need $1
Hmm.
to make another $300.
I think we would take out 231. We could see 231 here. Yeah. So we're heading back up to the trend line. We got a 1, 2, another 1, 2, and then straight down. We should come taking out all these lows. That's what I would expect at that point.
I would agree.
So definitely a tempting sell.
I hope I don't end up standing on one foot and kicking myself with the other.
It looks pretty good. Yeah, it's a tough call, really, because there's so much strength in the market. A lot of buyers have flooded in now. Yeah. You can see the NAS says, you know what? I'm not going down any further. I'm just going to head straight up. S&P, same thing. So you can see that what I'm saying holds water. It's tough. It's an iffy condition because it's so strong, the market. So you take a risk. Bitcoin says, you know what, guys, I'm leaving town as well. I'm taking off. So they're still pushing. So I expected Bitcoin to take out that high, and it is. Ethereum struggled to get there. I'm rooting for you here, Peter.
Yeah, I need all the help I can get.
Yeah, so you have to think about that when you're playing. You know, do you want to take that chance at this point that price will come down? Especially when we've had such a big run to the upside. They can easily continue, you know, without giving you what you're expecting. I'm expecting them to drop it, but there's no guarantee that that's going to happen. It's the same thing like yesterday. We were just relentlessly coming down. So it's really difficult to try to buy, you know, at these levels down here. But it's also extremely tough to want to sell down at these levels as well. So it's a double-edged sword. Same thing here now. We've been going up, and it's really tough to sell, and it's really tough to buy because you're up so high. More likely to sell at this point now, but again, the strength is so much that you take a risk trying to sell at this point.
Well, that said, you either believe, it's like flying a plane. You either believe your indicators or you don't.
Yes, and you have to believe in the structure. The structure says we should do 5 waves, so we should do 5 waves. We should take out this low. I would expect them to take this low out. So that's what I would hold to. But we know that sometimes they don't do that. Right? Sometimes they don't take that low. So
well, when you're flying, if you don't trust your indicators, you're going to crash and burn.
we've got a 1, 2 here, so I'm looking for them to take out that low. But will they take out these lows? Yeah, this is where all the psychology comes into play now, right? Can you trust, as Peter says, your indicators at this point? Look at a new demand line here.
You have a sell line there. You have a sell resistance line at the top. Yeah, there you go. So this forms a triangle.
Mm-hmm. So we're, I would expect us to take out this low.
In a downtrend.
Yeah, I'd expect to take out this low. Let's see if they do. But very hard pressed to sell this, though. You see why, right? You see how it's very tentative. That's the reason why I didn't want to sell, because it's too much pressure to the upside. So it's very difficult to want to sell here.
I would agree. We have a 1, 2, 3 top on the 5-minute chart.
Yes, so now this whole move would look like a 1, 2, 3 top on the 5-minute, which could take us way down. That's a total possibility, and based on the entire move, that's kind of what we were looking at, that could happen, right? So again, it's very tentative, very cautious at this point. So I would expect that we would come back down and then continue. That's the expectation. This entire move give us that move, gives us 5 waves up. So that's the expectation. That's why I said you're a brave man, Peter.
I don't know if I'm brave. I'm just forcing myself to pay attention to indicators and either believe what I see or don't believe what I see. I mean, it's like flying a plane in IFR. When you're flying IFR, you're not looking outside the window. You're just paying attention to your instruments. You either believe what they say or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pilots crash and burn because they don't trust their indicators.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing a play to jump in at this point at all. So that's why I'm again holding off.
Well, within the triangle, I see a 1, 2, 3 top.
Yes, we're basically at this point 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking for another leg down to take out this low. So do they have enough to do that? And I have to look at S&P at the same point to see if it's doing similar, and S&P is not really performing as, it's much weaker, the S&P, so it's coming down quicker.
3 to 16 is all I'm looking for.
NASDAQ coming, NASDAQ is almost taking that low, so I would expect Tesla to do the same, and we're getting there now. So getting there slowly but surely, but it's a slow grind here. So we need to take that low out. Got a new trend. We've got a new supply trend line. New demand setting up, perhaps.
We have a very steep resistance line, steeper than the demand line.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're coming to take out this low now. So after we take this low, I would expect a retrace. So is that retrace going to bring us back down, or is it just going to be a continuation to the upside? That's going to be the big question, because there are lots of equal lows here, so we could take these guys out as well. We could certainly turn back and then drop or continue to the upside. So it's going to be quite interesting here. How is our time? We're 15 minutes after the hour now, 17 minutes. We're in a lull state in the market here. Hopefully this is, again, a good edification for everyone. It's, patience is the #1 criteria playing this game. Okay, so we've taken out that low. So you should be good now, Peter. You should be out of your position.
Yeah, I'm getting out right now. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So
okay, I just covered my position at 232.29.
Excellent. So you made a quick profit there, and that's good. So expecting that retrace now back up. And again, do we continue back down? That's what I would expect, but you'll see here. So if they close below this low, that's a good sign that these highs up here would be strong. We call strong highs then, and we should be then. That's not an A. That's an H. Strong high. So we need a closure to really feel good about that. And we did not close below. Oh, right on. We closed right on it. Wow, amazing. All right, so let me take these trend lines. The trend lines will be moving now. These guys would be pointing to over here. Something like that. So we could retrace back to a gap here.
Yeah, the triangle is very steep.
And then a continuation.
It's very steep in a downtrend, so it's more than likely price will fall.
Yeah, it's kind of pointing the way. It's essentially the trend line is kind of pointing in the direction that we were going.
Well, that's why I like drawing trend lines, because at least it gives you knowledge of whether you're dealing with buying pressure or selling pressure.
Yeah, it gives you the visual cue.
Instead of just staring at candles, it gives you a measure of control. And right now we have more selling pressure than we do buying pressure.
Okay, so we've come back into the first gap right there. That's not a very good line right there. So is that enough? We do have a 1-2 here, so we could go higher. There's a second gap up here. I'm not drawing very good. Let me draw the gaps in. So there's a gap higher. So
Yeah.
We could go into that one. That's more likely where we're heading. So we're going to break the trend line, the resistance trend line. So we've closed above the resistance trend line. Interesting. We're sitting in the first gap still though. Look for them to go through to go up to this one. So very tentative here, very slow, methodical movements here. So same thing here, we changed a character, we've closed below. So on the NAS, it's a little different because we have indeed closed below this low. And now we're pushing back up. There's a little gap there. There's an order block here. And that might suffice to bring us back to the downside. Or we could just be chopping up and down in the fourth wave here as well. So the number of scenarios, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so might have been a wise exit at that point, Peter. You know.
Yeah, well, like I said, I was only looking for $1, so you have to stick to your plan.
All right, so we almost got a touch into that gap. Very close.
Looks like we could be setting up another 1, 2, 3. We have a 1, 2, 3 in the triangle, and now we have possibly another 1, 2, 3 forming.
Yeah, they actually came back and touched the order block there, and that's given us that push off the order block. Interesting. So
this could be going down further.
Yeah, that's what I would expect. You can see we've got a kind of move that would take these guys out and these guys out. It's still possible for them to take this high one more time, but maybe not. Maybe they won't do that.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
They might not do that though. So we've got a new trend line. It's a little less steep. And looks like we should take out that low here.
Yeah.
So not a terrible sell, you know, to come back down. I would, if I were selling from here, I would be just looking to come back down to this low here, maybe this low. So we're almost there now. So I said I was saying 231 area, and that's where we're heading right now. We're down to 231s. So there they go to take out that low. And now
also on the 1 minute chart, we have major support pretty much where we are right now. If you look at the 1 minute chart.
Yeah. So we hit 231 and right there. So they're taking out that low, and then there's a couple other lows hidden in there. They took them out as well. There's an order block right there. We came right to the order block. So that could be as far down as we go. So
if you look at the 1 minute chart compressed, we have major support right now at in and around 231, which is where price is right now. Price would have a hard time breaking through it, although it eventually may do.
Let's just see where my 50% of this entire move takes me here. From the high to the low. 50% takes us right into this order block area here. So we're very close to that 50% level. So it is possible for us to drop one more time down just below these order blocks. So one more drop here.
Yeah, not with my money.
Got a 1, 2, 3 right there. So yeah, we could come down one more time. There is a gap here. We're right in touching that gap, right in the gap now. So one more drop to take out these lows is a possibility. So your attempting sell worked out, and that's good. Okay, so they're going a little higher. I can get this guy right there.
I try not to let fear get the better of me.
Yeah, no fear.
Trading is about conquering fear.
Going up quite a ways. Wow.
Going back to my exit point.
It's amazing they came back and touched that gap here.
Yeah.
So they're kind of saying that maybe that might be sufficient. They've got enough to turn this around again.
And that support area held.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. So we would have to break above this guy and then come back in to go. So this could be the bottom here. We have a new support line now. And that's right
Yeah,
there.
that's it. That's it.
And we're breaking the supply line. So on the NAS, it's very clean. We've got very clean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. So we're looking for that same kind of movement to take us out possibly here. And they came back into the order block here. I'm kind of like, I would like this more for a buy opportunity for NAS. So there's our sweep. There's a move up. Would love to see them come and break that high, but they're falling short of it, coming back in. So could be a buy opportunity here. The risk would be very small, so that's what I like about it. Just in case they decide to come back down and take out that low for whatever reason. But that's the kind of buy opportunity here that would take us back up to these highs, take them out. So it looks pretty good for a buy. In the inverted gap. We're right in the middle of the inverted gap, so that might be as far as down as they go.
Yeah.
S&P is the same. And Tesla came back and touched that inverted gap. There's also a regular gap. So that could be as far down as they go. Move our trend line up now. This trend line would be like this now. Very flat.
Yep.
So yeah, we could be springboarding to the upside here again.
Yeah.
See how it looks on the 5. So not as deep a retrace as I was expecting here. Didn't come down 50%. Doesn't mean that we're not done going down, mind you, but could certainly turn around and continue going up from this point. You could get from right there 232 to 237. That's 5 points on Tesla.
I think I'm going to put my bravery in my hip pocket for a while. Doug landed the plane.
Yeah.
It could be that it wants to form an inverted head and shoulders.
Looking for them to sneak out of there. We've got a very steep supply line, or demand line now.
Yes.
Super steep now.
Yes. And the resistance line is kind of flattening out.
I see the resistance line. Do you have a demand line drawn there?
There is a demand line, but it needs to be changed to that.
That line, okay.
Yeah, it's gone very steep here.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I thought it should look like.
Actually, there's a closer in demand line.
Now we're getting this new one.
Looks like an inverted head and shoulders pattern, Lennox.
Yeah, they're taking a bit of time to get out of there, that's for sure. I'd like to see a little bit. They're not being very aggressive leaving, so a lot of accumulation going on still. Thought they would leave in a much more of a hurry, but they're not. So
They're respecting that demand line.
mm-hmm. Yeah, very slow, methodical movements here. We're coming into close to macro time, so we should see a good move. And we do have a lot of news coming out tomorrow, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, CPI.
Yeah, so tomorrow is going to be yeah, a rocking day in the markets with the CPI coming out, and then back to back on the next day, on Thursday, we'll have PPI. So should be an interesting couple of days here. So they're sweeping these stops here. Looks like we're going to have a new demand line here. Yeah, very slow, methodical moves here. They're not leaving in a hurry, and that's always a concern whenever you get into a position and not leaving in a hurry. That might be in some trouble. You get into a 1, 2, 3, you want to see them go. No fooling around. So. Yeah, I tried an order on NAS and I got my first loss. So I went in on the NAS. I put my stop really tight under here and they just took me out. So I went in on the retrace into the gap, looking for them to go out, but they're just hanging. So yeah, they look like they wanted to take out these lows. They might be gunning for the lows here as well because it's equal lows. That's a possibility. They could take these guys out as well and come down a little further. There's a lot of
What I was saying is that the volatility has been horrendous on the NAS. VIX actually came down some. It's down to 27 now.
Bitcoin is showing a lot more strength than these guys are. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is got a nice 1, 2, 3, and we're pushing. We're in a fourth wave now, so looking to continue pushing to the upside here. So Bitcoin is doing a lot better than the NAS.
Bitcoin
struggling.
5-minute up move.
So will we take out this low here? They might just do that. So I didn't think they would, but they are. And the reason I didn't think they would is because we don't really want them to come back into this area here, and they are doing that. So it's likely that they might be gunning to take out the lows here as well. So it was looking pretty good there that maybe we would get a move out, but they were taking so long to get out. It says nope, they're not leaving right now. So we might stay right into that in that order block area and get a wick or tail and then bounce out. That's possible. I'd like to see that rather than them taking out these lows here. So let's see if that happens. So
It almost looks like we have a head and shoulders pattern on the 1 minute chart. Which would drive price down.
On Tesla?
Yeah. If you compress the 1 minute chart, you can see a head, left shoulder, right shoulder, neckline.
Yeah.
no, I think we're heading back up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like we've swept everybody out, and now we made a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom. We should be pushing to the upside here. That's what I was expecting on the NAS, but they decided no, they wanted to sweep one more time. So did S&P do the same sweep? And they did. Okay, so both did the same thing, just touching into the order block. So I would expect them to push back to the upside.
Yeah.
And Tesla start trying to do that now. How's our time? Okay, we got 7 minutes before macro. So going back to the NAS and going to the 5 minute or the 15 minute, where is liquidity sitting today? And because we've been in such a strong move, there's liquidity above. There's a little bit of liquidity below, but not much. Just a few little places here. So it would look like they would want to continue going to the upside today. Continue pushing to the upside. It would make no sense for them to come all the way back down. This is a very strong low here that should hold. That would mean that they shouldn't come all the way back down. You wouldn't expect that at all. So we should continue pushing to take out the highs. So I would be, if I were a betting man, I'd be looking to go long.
I would agree. You have a 1, 2, 3 bottom on the 1 minute chart.
Yeah, I've got one on the NAS here as well. So looking for a nice setup now. So there's a little gap here. Very tiny gap. Is it? Yeah. Very tiny.
You have a new resistance line on the Tesla.
Resistance. Touching that gap, so we should bounce off that.
It's not a very robust 1, 2, 3.
Bear with me one second. Oh, there it is. It's frozen. My axis is messed up. I've got on my axis, I've got a my MT4. I've got a demarc indicator that draws the lines for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm frozen. The MT4 is frozen right now for whatever reason. That's why my computer is so slow. This thing is frozen. I have to cut it off.
You think it's the
It
indicator
doesn't
that's
show
freezing
up
it up?
in your CPU.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, now I'm getting it. I can move it now. It's okay. So let me just see if I can. Could be the indicator that's causing the problem. Yeah, because it looked like it restarted the entire system there. Get my window back up. Sorry, guys. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, NASDAQ. All right, so okay, we've got 3 minutes before macro time. A little hesitant here still. You know, they can be mean. They can still come and take these guys. You know, we've got a 1, 2, 1, 2. They could still drop it one more time, take these guys out before they take off. So always have to be leery.
We have back-to-back 1, 2, 3s on the 1 minute Tesla.
Okay, 2 minutes to go. Okay, so we're getting a nice move there now. Tesla's already taken off. So that would have been a great buy on Tesla right there, to catch that move to the upside. So that was the expected. They would take off out of there. So
Trend line break.
yeah, NASDAQ similar. That would be good buy there. We got 1 minute left, less than a minute to go here, 20 seconds now. So I might have missed my chance to get in here. Unless we get a pullback real quick, which there's nothing to pull back
That,
to.
the mark on your MT4 causing the problem?
I don't know if it is. It could be causing the problem. I'm going to buy that right now. I'm going to buy this.
I have my MT4
And it's okay?
my memory is, my CPU time, I should say, is no higher than 2.
Okay.
5 to 2. There you go, Lennox. It came back for you.
So I'm taking a risk going into this play here. I'm looking for them to go back to the upside. I'm going to have to put my stop below the low and take a bigger risk than I was expecting. So I decided to jump in on NAS to go up here. Let's see if we get that move. Now they're playing games with me, of course.
That's a big down move that we have on.
Yeah, I don't like that. I thought we would just get a little bit of a quick move into the order block and then off we go. But
yeah, this is too.
Yeah.
This is actually going negative right now.
Interesting turn of events here. Let's see if I'm going to survive it. Tesla, big pullback as well. Interesting. Okay, well, we should push back to the upside here. No, they took me out. Yeah, that's what I was saying, that maybe they would do that, eh? They would take that low out first. Yeah, could see that that was a possibility. 1 2 1 2, boom, and then a drop down, take out that low, and maybe now they'll take off to back to the upside. So they've come quite deeply into the order block here. So not liking that move at all.
Tesla's doing the same thing.
Yeah, Tesla would be doing the same thing. So it looked like Tesla was ready to make that move to take out the highs. Take these highs and these highs. So we get a nice 1 2, another 1 2, and then we would go. But they're looking to take out the stops here.
We just changed to negative again.
Interesting. Bitcoin is also dropping back.
NASDAQ for 3 candles now.
So quite an interesting move here. So maybe they're doing this because of the news coming out tomorrow. Is preparing for that, perhaps. So look at Bitcoin. We did a 1 2, and then we chopped up and down A, B, C, D, E.
Pass it off, or they get ready to pass it off to Asia.
Yeah, I think we're gonna continue up, but they're just doing a little pullback to take everybody out first. So they're being ruthless here at the end. So a lot lower than I expected them to come. They've taken out this low now. Wow, that's amazing. S&P did not take out that low.
Move that you have right there. Oh, no. I wonder if Trump said something earlier.
Oh yeah, he was supposed to be speaking at
5 o'clock, I
five.
think.
That's right.
Let me see if he opened his big mouth.
But
26
but-
minutes
but-
ago, the jobs opening see gains in January is a sign of a labor market. That's the jobs openings. What the heck is going on here?
Well, Trump hasn't. If Trump is going to speak, he hasn't spoken yet. So, or has he? It's 4 o'clock Eastern now, right? Almost. So he hasn't spoken yet.
No,
So there's the
shouldn't have spoken yet.
sweep there. Oh, they swept both. Wow. So they came and swept this guy down here as well. That's amazing. So that's a lot of sweeps. This is what I was expecting in the first place. But then it looked like we weren't going to do that at all. We looked like we were going to turn and continue straight up. But they did indeed come and sweep. So if I go back up to the 5 minute, remember, I was saying we could come down around 50% of the entire move. Put that back on. So 50% of that move, they come exactly to 50%. Made almost exactly. Let's see if that's, yeah, we touched that. Exactly 50%. So that's amazing. So that's what I was expecting them to do. And then I'm doubting that they would do it now, and they would go quicker because of the move, the strength. But no, they're doing it exactly as expected. So they're coming down. So it's a buy opportunity in here still. I just went in a little prematurely, a little early than I should have. That's basically what that tells us here. So there's the 5-wave move to the upside. You can see it very clearly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we get 5 waves back down. So right back down below 50%, 50% right here. And there's a gap here. So we could come into that gap. That seems a long way down.
Boy, that's a big move.
Yeah, that's quite the drop. So my expectation that we'd go up first was tempered by the fact that there was lots of liquidity sitting under here that I was overlooking that they would take out, which is what I pointed out in the first place, that there was liquidity under here that they would come back and take out these lows. And sure enough, so they're going for the low-hanging fruit, as it were.
They've just gone, NASDAQ has just gone below VWAP.
So that was not a good play on my part going long here. Not a good play.
I'm not quite sure I see how you could have saved that yourself.
Look at how they faked Tesla out, eh? It looked like they were going to go. They faked everybody to go long, so everybody piles in with all your stops under here, right? I got fooled in NAS, thinking that they were going to do that as well, and then they come back and take everybody out.
And right now they
very smart.
They push the ATR up to 35. They're playing games in here.
Oh yeah, this is very smart playing on their part. This is really very, very good. So there is the entire move for Tesla coming back down 50% of that move, and there's the gap that I thought they might come back into, possibly. So this is a bigger gap on the 5-minute time frame. I can make that bigger. And they've touched that gap below 50%. So this is a reasonable point for them to turn this around. Let me get rid of these trend lines. Not useful anymore.
Peter, what size of stop do you use on Tesla?
I use mental stops.
Nickel?
Mental.
Oh, mental stop. Oh,
yeah.
Because I don't find the same kind of ATR spread that I have on NASDAQ. It looks like 2 to 3 points is safe in a lot of cases.
Mental stops can be a little hazardous, but you have to take that risk if you don't want to get stopped out by putting it too tight. I wouldn't recommend that you do that, but if you know what you're doing, you can. Okay, so I'm looking to exact some, get my loss back here. Not liking losing that last trade. That was a very good trade.
What we're trying to do is see what's going to go on after the bell rings. And we're still in a down mode.
Yeah, we're at the point now where we could turn around and go back up now. So very close to that.
Out all the stops.
Yeah, they've taken everybody out, and we're back to this order block. We're below 50%. We're in a good buying opportunity here. So.
I have to go, Lennox. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Peter. Thanks for dropping in as usual.
Thanks a lot, Peter.
Yeah, thanks, George. Thanks, Lennox. Thanks, everybody.
Good rest of the day. Oh, it is Wednesday. Is it today Wednesday? No, it's Tuesday today. I'm losing it. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We will have a meeting after the markets tomorrow.
There's the bell.
All right, Peter. Take care. All right, so I'm looking for a turnaround here now. I think they're ready to turn this back.
I don't like the looks of this chart.
Okay, so I'm going to.
And it's still in a downward mode. It looks like it wants to try to turn up, but
we're very close to turning here. Tesla seems like it could drop one more time, but now they've stopped Tesla from trading now, so can't look at Tesla anymore. So Tesla was stopped up in here, I think it looks like. All right, so that looks like a pretty good buy on the NAS. Right there. So let me take that and see if, so essentially at this point, the reason I'm buying here is because I'm getting a sweep and then that move up, retrace, and that move out. So
Well,
it's a,
I mean, the 30-minute is a 1, 2, 3 bottom. That's looking like it wants to go north.
so that's my risk right here to the lows. They might take me out one more. They might take me out, but I'm hoping they do not take me out at this point. Okay, I'll put the stop in. Let's see if we can get out of there now. So if I'm correct and we do move out, then my take profit would be up to the highs here. Should be able to make those highs.
The 10-minute still looks like you might be okay. It's a big 1-2 on the 10-minute chart, though. Go down to the 5-minute chart.
So this was a very good trick here they did. They swept it, put that move up, made a nice little 1, 2, 3, another move up. It looked really good. And then
okay, when I look at the 5-minute chart, Lennox, it's not an impulse wave that I'm really looking at.
impulse wave, impulse wave in which direction? To the upside?
Down.
No, this is just a retracement of an impulse. It's a retracement of an impulse. So we have an impulse wave to the upside, then we have a retracement of that impulse wave.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a good impulse wave down.
It is an impulse, but it's a retracement wave, right? So we wouldn't expect this to go way down or anything like that. So we should be done. We should be coming back.
It should be going up at this point.
Yeah.
But we really haven't done enough downward movement for it, unless that's going to be wave 2 of the starting at the bottom of one large 2, a large wave 1, and we're in a larger wave 2 down.
Well, if we go to the 15-minute time frame.
Yeah, that's where I was at. I started at the 30-minute.
Yeah, so we're looking at this sweep, the move to the upside, retrace back in, closure above. So there is the same kind of thing we're looking at on the 1-minute time frame. So we come back into about 50% retrace area. We're looking for them to come back up and take out these highs.
Definitely at the 50% mark.
Yes. So that's the same thing. If we go down to the 5-minute, we look at even at this area, they sweep, they go back up, sweep, push to the upside. So it's the same kind of thing. And if we come down to this level, it'll be a similar sweep and so on. So everything is lining up quite nicely for us to continue to the upside. I'm just disappointed that I was faked out right here on this move, because I should have realized that, wait a minute, there's lots of liquidity down here still, and they could certainly take that out. And even at this point, they could still come down and take this low out.
The problem is I'm seeing too much potential for coming down one more shot.
It's possible that they might do that. They're mean enough to do that, certainly. Again, they're not leaving in a hurry here.
The one good sign is that the last downward movement on our 3-minute candle is a turnaround candle. It's still red, but it's got a wick and a tail to it. So from that point of view, it looks like it's stopped, but the new 3-minute candle has no wick or tail to it, and it's even tinier, which is also a good sign. But
Yeah, I need to see them take this high.
I
This
can't
high
call.
here.
I have to see more unfold.
It's not very strong movements here though. I thought we'd go a little stronger out of here.
But here's the problem. Right now, ATR jumped up to 63. I mean, that's gross.
Yeah, they might be holding up. Well, we still have Asia and London to go through before news tomorrow morning, so we could see a slow climb out of here, you know, into Asia.
Well,
so that's
know,
kind of what I'm
quite
expecting.
often you can end today at the 50% level so that Asia can take over and do a nice wave 4 movement or something like that before it passes it off to London.
Let's see what you.
I'll show you. I go looking at the consistency.
No. I have a drop off.
Oh. Drop off.
I'm dropping off a terminal for you guys.
Oh,
Just mute Stacy there.
Oh,
Okay, still looking for a little push. We're a couple minutes left in the macro here, so looking for a last push in the last couple of minutes to take out these highs.
left in the macro, but it really hasn't done much more.
Not done much here. See how S&P is about the same. And let's see how Bitcoin is reacting at this point. Okay, Bitcoin's struggling a little bit. Came down quite a bit more than I would have expected as well. So it's a bit of a struggle for Bitcoin. A little bit of a struggle for NAS as well. We did take that high out, so that's good. So let's see if we can push up. So I want to see them take this high over here. This high right there. If we can take that high, that would be really good.
Oh, no wonder I'm not seeing a lot of movement. I'm sitting on a 5-minute chart. Yeah, let me move that down to the 1-minute chart.
Slowly trying, slowly. There we go. A little bit more push.
Trying to turn ourselves up now, but we've got a 1-2.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're actually we've pulled CCI to the positive side at this point, so we could get an upward movement going. Looking good now on the 1 minute. And we got our 3-minute turn to our first no-tail candle. Now, I don't like that move. And that just changed the no-tail to a wick and a tail.
They're just sweeping a few people out.
Transition, you can get an immediate change like that.
Okay, we're right at the 10 minutes after now, so I think that might be about it. I'm going to bring my stop up a little tighter just to mitigate if any losses if they come back down. But we should continue pushing to the upside now because they've swept these guys, so they shouldn't come back below this low. But I don't want to move my stop up that tight yet, just in case. I'd feel good if they took out this high right here.
it's attempting to turn again to a positive, but
Yeah, I could even take a partial at that point.
there's a nice move. The next hurdle to amount is about 10 handles higher, and that's the 200 SMA. It's below it right now.
So I'm gonna take a partial. They're very slow, too tentative for my liking. So I'll take a partial and reduce my risk completely. We'll see if I can stay alive through Asia and continue pushing up. So my target is set. I'll make $5,000 if I can make it there. So it looks pretty good at this point that we should be able to push out of there, but not very vigorous, of course, and we're almost, we're out of the macro now and coming into the 15 minutes after. So I will call it a day at this point, and we'll see how this plays out into Asia this evening. So I thank everyone for dropping in, and yeah, good edification today, that's for sure.
I ended up with a nice day today, so
Excellent.
I had 9 trades.
So I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Qubit today?
Oh, I haven't even looked at Qubit today. How did Qubit do today? Qubit. Where's Qubit? There it is. Oh. Let's go to the weekly on Qubit. Oh, that's a good sign. So on the weekly, look at that. We came right into this gap here, which was partially mitigated to the midpoint, and then there's room at below the midpoint. They came into it, and now we get a wick. So that's a good sign that maybe we can turn and go back up. And you can see the structure: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, this is a buy. This is buying opportunity here, eh? On Qubit, I would say.
Okay.
If I were a buying buying man, right?
A betting buying man?
Yeah. If you're a betting man and you're buying, right? Because you can be a betting man and sell too, right?
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. So yeah,
Okay,
it looks good on the weekly.
We just touched the 200 SMA from below on the NAS.
On NAS. Yeah, we're just touching that previous high. Okay, so yeah, that looks really good. Let's see how it looks on the daily. Yeah, it's hopefully a potential turnaround. So I'm gonna jump in and tomorrow, I wish I had looked at it today, and pick up some more of these guys because it's cheap, right? So could buy maybe 500 shares or something like that down there. Yeah, it's a nice little jump. So hopefully that's, it's turning, right? There's some good news happening and it's going to turn and push back up.
Oh boy, that's a big drop we have. What the heck is going on here?
So our GTI would be similar, right?
Yeah, they take
So
turns.
Yeah, it's got a 1, 2, 3 there. So it's looking pretty good that we could come out of there, right?
Those big gap up there.
Yeah, big gap.
Thanks. We just had a big down candle on now we're on to the second one.
So NAS hourly. I like the hourly on NAS. Looks good. We got a 1-2-1-2. So looks like we should push out of there, George. We should push out of there. 15-minute. Just have to survive this area here and continue pushing up. It looks pretty good. It is certainly possible that they could take that low one more time before they do it. That would be a sweep, and then we could get a nice 1-2-3. That's possible, but when you're in it, you don't want to see them do that, of course.
Well, I was thinking about your stop on that.
Yeah, I've kept my stop tight here, so just in case. But yeah, we'll see how they play it out here. So if they do take that low one more time, that would mean they're coming back into this gap here.
Yeah.
And then we could see the sweep, and we could get a 1-2-3 that takes us out. So we can look for that as a potential buy. But I wouldn't want to be moving my stop or anything like that at this point. Just leave it as is and see if we can push out without breaking that low one more time. Because we have touched that gap already. We have touched into it, so we shouldn't really need to go back down there again. But
Okay.
all right, so I will
Thanks,
call it a day.
I'm going to do some walking.
We may have one free there.
Yeah.
I'll call it a day. So thanks everybody for
Yeah, thank you,
stopping in,
sir.
unless there are any more questions. We good?
When will the market move? How high? How far? How fast? All right. Thank you, Lennox.
No problem.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Take care, everyone. Stacy,
Okay.
thank you. Marquis, thank you. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Watch out for red news in the morning.